What if you meticulously plan your e-commerce journey, secure that crucial first inventory, launch your marketing campaigns, and sales are starting to trickle in, but your 8-fig funding, it's not quite there yet. Your first line of products is already out the door, generating revenue, and then, poof, your 8-fig account finally activates. Is this a disaster? A missed opportunity? Or is it, surprisingly, a hidden advantage? Let's unpack this, because while it might seem counterintuitive, there are actually several interesting implications. Some challenging, some surprisingly beneficial, to having your 8-fig account activate after your first line has already started generating sales. We're going to dive deep into mechanics of 8-fig funding, explore the immediate and long-term impacts of this timing discrepancy, and most importantly, equip you with the knowledge to not just navigate, but potentially even capitalize on this very specific situation. First, a quick refresher on how 8-fig works. Unlike traditional loans, 8-fig offers growth capital that aligns with your sales cycles. They look at your sales data, your inventory, and your projected growth, then provide funding in tranches that match your anticipated cash flow needs. The core idea is to ensure you always have the capital available to scale without taking on debilitating debt or giving up equity. Their system is designed to be agile, adjusting to your real-time performance. This dynamic nature is key to understanding our scenario. So, your first line is out. Let's say you've invested $20,000 of your own capital into this initial batch of products. They're selling, revenue is coming in, and you're perhaps even seeing a profit. Now 8-fig activates. What does this mean for that initial $20,000? Does 8-fig retroactively fund it? Does it become part of your overall funding plan? The short answer is 8-fig's funding is forward-looking. They are designed to fund your future growth, your next inventory purchases, and your upcoming marketing spend. They are not a reimbursement service for past expenditures. This is a crucial point to grasp. The capital you've already invested in that first line, the one that's currently selling, is your capital. 8-fig isn't going to suddenly inject $20,000 into your account to cover that initial outlay. However, this doesn't mean your initial investment is ignored. Far from it. The sales performance of that first line is incredibly valuable data for 8-fig. It demonstrates your ability to source, market, and sell effectively. It shows traction. It validates your business model. This initial success, even if funded by you, strengthens your profile with 8-fig and helps them refine your funding plan for future lines. They'll see concrete proof of your sales velocity, your average order value, your conversion rates, all the metrics that feed into their algorithm for determining your funding tranches. So, while 8-fig won't retroactively fund your initial line, the performance of that line directly influences the size and timing of the funding you do receive for subsequent lines. Think of it as a highly effective real-world proof of concept that solidifies your standing as a viable and growing business. Now, let's talk about the immediate implications once your 8-fig account activates after your first line has launched. The most significant is a sudden and potentially welcome injection of liquidity. You've likely been operating on tighter margins, perhaps even reinvesting every penny back into the business to keep things moving. With 8-fig now live, you have capital available for your next growth initiatives. This means you can immediately start thinking about accelerated reordering, diversification of inventory, increased marketing spend, operational improvements, personal capital recovery. One of the potential challenges, however, is adapting your financial planning. You've been operating with one set of assumptions, and now you have a new, significant financial partner. You'll need to integrate 8-fig's funding structure into your existing budgeting and forecasting. This might involve adjusting your reorder points, your marketing budget allocation, and your overall growth projections. Communication with your 8-fig representative is key here to ensure your plans align with their funding tranches. Another nuanced aspect to consider is the psychological shift. When you're bootstrapping, every dollar is scrutinized, every decision heavily weighed. While this fosters discipline, it can also lead to missed opportunities due to capital constraints. With 8-fig activated, there's a newfound freedom and ability to act more aggressively on growth opportunities. This shift in mindset needs to be managed, ensuring you remain disciplined while also embracing the power of expanded capital. It's about leveraging, not squandering. When 8Fig does come online, you're not just a new business with concept. You're a business with demonstrated traction, making you a much more attractive and reliable partner for their funding model. This can lead to more favorable terms, larger funding tranches, and a stronger long-term relationship with 8Fig. What about if your first line isn't doing so hot? What if sales are sluggish? This is where the forward-looking nature of 8Fig becomes even more critical. While your initial poor performance might impact the size of your initial funding tranches, 8Fig's model is designed to adapt. They won't suddenly withdraw funding because your first line wasn't a runaway success. Instead, they'll work with you to understand why sales are slow, and their funding can then be strategically deployed to address those issues, perhaps some more targeted marketing or to test a new product iteration. The key takeaway is that an 8Fig account activating after the start of your first line is not a setback, but rather a pivot point. It shifts your business from a state of self-funded, potentially capital-constrained growth to one of externally supported, accelerated scaling. The initial period of self-reliance builds a strong foundation, provides crucial data, and sharpens your entrepreneurial skills. When 8Fig then steps in, it's not to salvage a failing operation, but to supercharge a proven one. The transition requires diligent financial management, clear communication with 8Fig, and a strategic mindset to effectively deploy the newly available capital. You're moving from a lean, every dollar count mentality to a how can I maximize this capital for exponential growth approach. This is an exciting phase for any e-commerce business. It signifies a move from initial validation to serious scaling. In essence, if your 8Fig account activates after your first line has started, you've essentially run a successful, self-funded pilot program. This pilot has provided invaluable data, proven your market, and demonstrated your operational capabilities. Now, with 8Fig's capital, you're not just expanding, you're launching into a higher orbit, armed with real-world insights and the financial fuel to reach your next milestones. It's an opportunity to leverage past success for future explosive growth. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.